But to go out and start a shop and hire 2-3 guys right off the bat that are going to be, $1,200 to $1,500 a week, $800 a week, whatever it's going to be, quickest way to go out of business, I assure you, even if you're busy. They're going to suck you dry, and Friday's going to come around and they're going to have their hand out trying to get paid, and you're going to have nothing to pay them with, guys. It doesn't work like that. Stay lean, do everything yourself, do as much as you can, work your ass off 15, 20 hours a day. And when the time is right for employees and for techs, you will know. I promise you, you will know. Hey guys, Eric here. I'm your host of the Battered Mechanic. This is episode 3. As always, be sure to subscribe to this channel. That's going to help this podcast grow. And quite frankly, we're putting out a lot of other cool content too. Feature builds and all kinds of stuff. So if you've stumbled upon this podcast, it's probably because you're into automotive related things. And that's what we do. I am the owner of Florida High Performance, performance shop located in sunny South Florida. And if you take a little gander on our YouTube channel here, you'll see exactly what it is that we do. What is the Battered Mechanic? Well, if you go to episode 1 of the podcast, I tell you all about it. But essentially, it's me, a shop owner, a real dude just like you, that's going to go into the nitty gritty of this business, this industry, the good, the bad, the up, the down, and everything in between. There's quite frankly really nobody out there talking about what I'm going to talk about. When I started out in this business, I had nobody. I sort of learned the old-fashioned way, right? School of hard knocks. Well, you might have to do that too. But it's nice to have somebody like me who's been doing this long enough to say, hey, you're not alone. The shit you're going through, the hard times, the good times, we've all been there. We're still there. And maybe you're a voice of reason. You know what I mean? Maybe have that shoulder to lean on. So, guys, welcome. Hope you enjoy the episode we have for you today. Today, we're going to be talking to the youngsters out there, the guys that are just starting out in the business, the guys that have been in the performance business or a repair shop for a few years, and the 6 pitfalls that you either have already or are going to make that are going to cost you money, that may even ruin your business. All right, and there's more than 6 things, but these are the 6 things that I think have the most weight, the most value to them. We're going to talk about them. And you'll be pleased to know that these 6 things are all things that I did. And even still to this day, sometimes fight with. So you're not alone, all right? The purpose of me having this conversation is to shed some light on your journey as a shop owner. Again, you might be just like I was. Man, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing? Am I supposed to be here? Why am I here? All right, well, I'm going to answer those concerns you may have in your head, those voices you hear. And I hope that these 6 things shed some light on maybe some things to avoid. Right. So guys, thank you again for being here, and again, subscribe, like, all right, and turn your notifications on. That way, when I drop something hot, you get it right away. All right. So let's get right into episode 3. 6 things that the newer shop owners out there need to avoid. Big mistakes. All right. Let's get right into it. Number 1, not embracing the suck. Some of you guys may or may not know I'm actually a professional firefighter. So not only am I a shop owner, but I do my public service. I am a fireman, paramedic. And we have a saying in the fire service, it's embrace the suck. What do I mean by embracing the suck? Well, the automotive business sucks. It does. You might be sitting there going, it doesn't suck. I love it. I love working on cars. We all love working on cars, all right? But this is a business. And I'm here to tell you that it's going to kick you in the butt, all right? The sooner you learn to embrace the suck, the better off you're going to be. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. All right. Now, embracing the suck, that's sort of a broad term, kind of a broad thing to say. And that's not all doom and gloom. All right. Obviously, I've been in this gig long enough to tell you that there are many positives and many wonderful things that have happened in my life as a result of me being in the automotive business. And, that holds true. And I don't want to discourage you. However, the sooner you learn to embrace the negative things that are going to occur, and the sooner you learn to embrace the fact that it sucks, and that it's hard, and it's hot, and it's painful, the better off you will be. I have a lot of young guys come into the shop, guys that either want to open a shop, or they're trying, they're struggling mechanics, they're trying to get out on their own, or whatever the case is, and they think it's hunky-dory, and they only focus on the positives, and they think everything's going to be great, and then all of a sudden they have this plan, and what happens? Well, you get punched in the face and that plan goes down the toilet. All right. These things are going to happen. All right. So embrace them. Try to take things that happen negatively to you when you're on this journey as a shop owner, and try to find the positives, right? Let's say you're applying for a business use tax in your city, and you go to the city and you say, hey, I want to open a shop. And they go, that's great. We're not allowing any shops to open in the city right now. There's already too many. Wow. Didn't see that coming. Embrace the suck. You can either walk out of the city hall and say, well, damn, there goes my plan. Or you can say, all right, well, what other cities can I go to? What are my other options, right? It's going to happen. You might be already established and you might already have a shop, and you might get broken into. Somebody might break into your shop in the middle of the night and steal all your shit. What are you going to do? You're going to embrace it. You want to be in this journey, and you want to be a badass, and you want to be a shop owner, and you want to make some money working on cars. Embrace it. All right. Embrace the things that are going to happen to you negatively, because they are going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Anybody that tries to go around the process or try to cheat the system of the automotive world, you're in for a rude awakening. All right, guys. So rule number 1. All right. And the biggest mistake that guys make starting out is they don't embrace the suck. And I'm here to tell you, the sooner you do that, the better off you will be. Number two, the number 2 mistake that new shop owners and younger entrepreneurs like myself once make is treating the business like a hobby. Okay. This is not a hobby anymore, guys. This is a business. All right. What you say and do and how you carry yourself and how you run your operation matters. All right. You're not working with your pops on a Saturday in the back of the house, laying on your back, changing oil in the old 62 Nova or whatever it is that you got. All right. This is a business. So get that hobby mentality, get that something you did on the side mentality, that things that I did for fun mentality, get that out of your head. All right. It's a business. Everything matters. The decisions you make, the money you spend, the marketing that you do, the shirt you wear at the shop, the way you look, the way you carry yourself in the public, the cars that you work on, the work you're putting out, where you do your business, the way your shop looks when you pull up to it, how your logo looks, your website, how you look. Do you look disheveled? Do you look like a professional? Do you take a shower? Do you stink? Do you look dirty? People notice that stuff, right? This is not a game anymore. This is real deal. You want to know why you don't make any money? You want to know why your new shop is struggling to make ends meet? Well, maybe it's because you're still treating it like you did when you were a kid in the back of your house or in your dad's garage or hanging out with your buddies on the weekend. That's got to end. All right. So again, this is a business, not a hobby. Treat it as such. All right. If you want to keep it a hobby, keep it a hobby. Go get a 9-to-5 job like a lot of guys do. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And on the weekends, splurge on the car. Go to a car show, wrench in your car in the garage. That's fine. You have no rules at that point. You have nothing to worry about. You don't have customers bitching. You don't have people calling you on a Saturday. You don't have negative reviews online to worry about and all these other things. Bills to be paid. Keep it a hobby. But big mistake guys make. They have a very hard time adjusting from it being something fun to a business. So guys, pay attention to that. Number 3, the number 3 mistake shop owners make, especially early on in their journey, trying to keep up with larger, more established shops. This is a big one. And I'm guilty of this. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I still am guilty of this to an extent. And I've been doing this a long time. That's just my nature. I'm competitive. I want to be good at what I do. I want to be the best. And don't think that I'm not saying that you shouldn't strive for greatness. Don't think that I'm saying you should want to be mediocre and small. All right. You should have those dreams and those visions. You should want to be a big, thriving, successful shop. But it comes with time. You have to trust the process. You have to embrace the suck, right? Biggest mistake I made starting out was trying to be like the big guy in town. Well, you're not. Okay. You don't have the money. You don't have the reputation yet. You don't have the customer base. You don't have the experience. I don't care if you grew up in the business. You have to get your own experience. You have to experience your own highs and lows and failures and successes. That goes with any business, but as it pertains to the automotive industry, Again, you can't beat that process. Strive for greatness and want to be big, but also understand that where you are now, enjoy that too. It's okay. Being small is okay. Being you and staying in your lane and building your own unique brand as a shop owner is okay. Enjoy that. I look back to those days, years and years ago, starting a shop. I had nothing. We scraped a couple bucks together to buy a 2-post, and then I bought a 4-post. It didn't have a dyno, that's for sure. My partner and I split a desk. I was in a really crappy little rundown business park in Pompano Beach. I would have not brought my car to me. I'm going to tell you that. But, and in my head, I always wanted to be great, and I knew I would be, but I also knew that this is where I belonged, and this is where you start. And I had to constantly remind myself that if I try to keep up with the Joneses, if I try to keep up with the guys who've been doing this 20, 30 years, I'm not going to make it. All right? There's a reason they are there, and the reason you are here. All right? So learn that, understand that, again, embrace that, and try not to keep up with everybody else. Worry about you. All right? It's the quickest way to go out of business is trying to keep up with everybody else and what they're doing. Don't worry about it. Focus on you. Focus on your service. We talked about this in the last episode 2. Focus on your customers. Make them feel like $1 million. That's what you need to be focusing on. Keep your place clean. I don't care if it's 1,500 square feet. Keep it clean. Keep it immaculate. All right? Make it look like you give a shit. And then when you do get a customer in the door, treat them like gold. And they'll, in return, treat you like gold. And in return, they'll tell 6 or 7 of their friends, hey, these guys are awesome. They're small. They're starting out, but I love them. They're great to deal with. They're very knowledgeable. I trust them. That's it. You start worrying about everybody else and what they're doing, you're going to go out of business. Okay? So guys, stay in your lane. Don't keep up with the Joneses. That'll come. All right. Number 4, hiring too many people. This is a big one. You think you're going to be real crazy busy, and you think that you're going to need all these people to help you with all this nonsense. My advice is to do exactly what I did. Do everything yourself. That may seem impossible. That may seem like, wow, I'm starting the shop and I've got all this stuff to do. I've got marketing and I've got this and that. I have to run a business. I have to work on cars. I have to pay the bills. Yes, it's a 24/7 process. If you think it's any easier than that, you're probably not cut out for this type of work. And the only way that you're going to get really good at doing what it is that you want to do is to do everything. You have to be a master of everything in your business. You have to understand every possible aspect, every angle, every position that's going to be required in this business to grow. You start hiring a bunch of people. Well, it's nice because now they're doing the work for you, or you're spreading the load out. But early on, you're not going to have the money to do that. It's just plain and simple. Unless you're got daddy's money and you've got some stupid, I don't know, trust fund that you're relying on to have the shop going, which those guys don't make it anyway because they don't have any experience. And, the real guys out there sniff that out real quick. You're going to need to penny pinch. You're going to need to save. You're going to need to allocate that money into marketing. You're going to need to allocate that money into keeping the place open and to paying rent, right? Not paying your guys. You need to be doing it. I had a shop for many, many years, and I didn't hire a guy until maybe 3-4 years into it. Florida High Performance, I started in 2021 after closing another business that I had for years. I didn't have a guy for 3 years, and I've been doing it forever. I could have very easily went out. I was busy. I could have very easily went out and hired people, but I knew I'm starting over again. I went back to that same entry-level philosophy. Even though I had the experience now, I kind of approached it like, a young dude like you out there, starting all over again. I started small, started lean. I didn't hire anybody. I did everything myself, and it was a bitch. And by now I had a wife and kids. All right, so employees are nice. Grow into that. Maybe find a helper. Helper's okay. Maybe find a kid that is like you, or a guy that maybe has a full-time job, wants to come in on the weekends and help keep the place clean and learn. Perfect. All right. But to go out and start a shop and hire 2-3 guys right off the bat that are going to be, $1,200 to $1,500 a week, $800 a week, whatever it's going to be, quickest way to go out of business, I assure you, even if you're busy. They're going to suck you dry, and Friday's going to come around and they're going to have their hand out trying to get paid, and you're going to have nothing to pay them with, guys. It doesn't work like that. Stay lean, do everything yourself, do as much as you can, work your ass off 15, 20 hours a day. And when the time is right for employees and for techs, you will know. I promise you, you will know. Guys, number 5. Not enough cash in the bank. This will go for any business, but I will tell you right now, with the automotive industry, it's expensive. It's an expensive business to be in. If you're in the performance end like I am, everything's expensive. the equipment's expensive, the lease is expensive on your building, business, taxes, just anything you could imagine, everything's expensive. You need to have money in the bank to start a shop. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire. I certainly wasn't, and I certainly am not now, although I'm on my way. But you got to have some money in the bank. You can't open a business with $20 in your pocket and hope that you're going to make it somehow, some way. That's not going to happen. Plan for the unexpected. And this is going to be number 6 we're going to touch on here shortly. But have some money in the bank, guys. Borrow money, sell your car, get some cash together, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. If your rent is, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month, whatever it is, try to have 2 or 3, 4 months of reserves for rent, right? That way, if you don't have a single car that comes to the door, you can at least keep the place open. Not a good look when you sign a lease and then 3 months later you're out of business, right? It's not a good look, right? Your landlord's not going to appreciate it, and that's just not a good look in a public's eye, right? So be prepared for that. Have some money set aside. Make sacrifices. Eat ramen noodle dinners. Just quit going out with your buddies and drinking and being stupid and spending stupid money. Don't buy the race car right away. Sell the race car. I've sold race cars. I've had tons of cars I've sold to we're getting ready to move our business from Boca, where we are now, down to Pompano. It cost me $100,000 to move that business. I sold one of my race cars. I lost my ass on that thing. I probably $100,000 in that car. Sold it for $36,000. Okay. I took $36,000 and I put it into my business. It's going to pay me back. I'll go get a race car later. These are sacrifices you have to make, guys, but I know that I have to have money in the bank. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be a ton. Look at your costs to run the business. Multiply that by 3 or 4, maybe even 5 or 6 if you can, and have that set aside, because I assure you a rainy day is going to come. We talked about this, step number 1, embracing the suck. It's going to come. All right. And if you don't have money, you will be out of business. Okay. You have to have money to be in this business, period. And don't be afraid to borrow, by the way. Don't be afraid to borrow. We're going to have another episode on credit and leveraging credit and borrowing money and how to apply it in this business, but don't be afraid to borrow money, guys, but be smart about it. All right. Last but not least, number 6 reason why new guys in this business go under. It's underestimating the problems and the expenses that are going to come along with them. This sort of touches on number 1, embracing the suck, but specifically the problems that you're going to face as a business owner and underestimating the cost to get out from underneath them. You are going to have problems with cars you work on. You are going to do everything right. You're going to do the baddest job you can do on a guy's car, and it is going to break. Something is going to fail. It is an inherent risk of this business. Okay, I assure you, I don't care how good you think you are. Shit happens. All right, the shit happens factor can get very expensive. If you're a responsible business owner and you give a shit about your customers and you care about your reputation, there are times where you're going to have to reach into your pocket and you're going to have to pay to fix the problem. All right. So there's so many guys that think that they're immune to this, that, well, the customer's going to pay for that. No, they're not. You're going to pay for that. All right. That's a hard knocks education right there that you're going to get. And I assure you, everybody goes through it. I've been through it. Sometimes I still go through it. You underestimate the cost to fix these types of problems. You think everything's going to be hunky-dory and awesome, and all of a sudden you get a fine from the city for something, or all of a sudden you get a piece of equipment fails on you. Now what? Not only now you have the cost to repair that equipment, but now you have the lost time in production. What is that costing you? Shop's down for 3 days. What did that cost you? Your schedule gets all screwed up. What does that cost you? You might get behind on a car today, and you're gonna feel the effects of that 6 weeks from now on another guy's project that you're behind on. I've been there and done it. Okay, so underestimating things that could potentially go wrong and the cost to fix those issues is a big one, guys. I recommend that you sit back, you go to 30,000 feet, so to speak, and you look at your shop and you say, am I prepared for shit that can happen? What can happen? What is it going to cost? Do I have the right finances to absorb those losses? Am I embracing the suck? Am I treating this like a business and not a hobby? These are questions you should be asking you. So if you're a new shop owner out there, guys, if you're new to this journey, if you've been in for a few years and you're not sure why these things keep happening to you, or what it is that you're missing, follow this list of 6 things, because these 6 things happen all the time. I know, I've been through them. I'm guilty of several of those. I'm still working on some of them. But I didn't have anybody early on to sit me down and tell me these things. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing my experiences, my wisdom with you. If you focus on these 6 things and avoiding them, or at least acknowledging that they exist and having a plan in place, you will be much better off. Your business will thrive, and you'll be just like me, 22 years in the game, talking about hey man, this is how you do it, and for the next generation. So guys, that's it. That wraps up the 6 topics I wanted to talk about today. If you found any value in what it is that I was talking about, if you have any questions, concerns, please comment below. I will comment on them in future episodes. Hope you enjoyed the content. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. And again, guys, as I always say, in anything in life, especially the automotive business, it's never easy. It's always hard. I will see you on the next episode of The Battered Mechanic. This is Eric. I'll see you later. Thanks, guys.